Good afternoon, everyone. Today is March the 15th, and this is the meeting of the Cities and County Subcommittee. If you're here in error, like I've shown up today in a different committee room, you can use this opportunity to leave. Again, welcome. This committee will come to order. Ms. Anderson, please take the roll.
Representative Alexander. Present. Representative Hale. Present. Representative Holsclaw. Representative McKenzie. Here. Representative Slater. Here. Representative Wright. Here. Chairman Crawford. Chairman Moon.
Present.
Chairman Moon, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson. At this time, do we have any members wish to recognize any guest, or do we have any personal orders? The chair would like to. Thank you. Thank you very much. Today I have with me my granddaughter, Libby Dunaway, my daughter, Amy Dunaway, and my wife of 53 years, Debbie Moon. And they felt like I needed more adult supervision. With us, I think we were going to have some folks with us from Shelby County, but I don't see them in the audience. So, having said that, Chairman Crawford is with us now, and we're in good order to begin. Our first item on the calendar is House Bill 954 by Vice Chairman Campbell. So we have a motion and a second on House Bill 954. Chairman Campbell, you are recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I thought that your family may have traveled to help this bill across the finish line today. Good to see them. This bill authorizes local governments to use tax revenue received from the Tennessee Sports Gaming Act for emergency services, in addition to what's already in code.
Members, you've heard the explanation. Are there questions, discussion? Chairman Holsclaw, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. Is the Sports Gaming Commission aware of this and favorable to it?
Representative Chairman Campbell, sir.
Thank you. I forget the young lady's name, but I spoke with one of their employees, was my understanding.
Mary
and that
Beth,
I'm sorry, and they didn't have
Mary Beth Thomas.
I would have to check and make sure who the individual was. I apologize for not personally knowing her name, but my understanding was that they weren't concerned about where money goes. They were more focused on the operation and making sure that people adhere to the gaming guidelines was my understanding.
Chairman Holsclaw.
That's good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Representative Alexander.
Thank you, sponsor, and thank you, Chairman. Can you, so it's the tax revenue that was coming into the counties that they're going to be able to use, is that correct?
Chairman Campbell, I believe it goes to infrastructure, and it goes to gambling addiction, and help me out, there's another location, schools, possibly education, or
education.
So
I may need to lean on legal here if Mr. Garrett is available with all of those sections. I can tell you that this specific portion only applies to 15% of the taxes collected. In other words, no more of that funding than 15% could be used under this bill. In other words, the other 85% remains untouched, Mr. Chairman.
Members want to go out of session and have legal let us know where where this money goes. So we'll go out of session. We're out of session. You're recognized, Mr. Garrett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Doug Garrett with the Office of Legal Services. And the sponsor is correct that 15% must be distributed by the council quarterly. And the funds remitted to those local governments must be allocated to the county or city general fund to be used for local infrastructure projects, including without limitation, transportation, and road projects and public buildings.
Any questions of council while we're out of session? Representative Alexander.
Thank you. Doug, so does this go in, so it goes to the county in the form of a tax revenue, and then the county has to divide it out, disperse it out. Am I correct in that?
Doug Garrett again. Yes, ma'am, it does.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? Hearing none, we'll go back into session. Vice Chairman Campbell, you're recognized on the bill, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll just say in conclusion that this would add the language emergency services to that section of the code. What we have found is that some local governments, frankly, do not support their emergency services as much as is needed. This isn't the largest pool of money, but it would give locals more discretion on how this money is spent and returned to the taxpayers.
Any other further discussion? Is there objection to the question? Hearing no objection, we're voting on House Bill 954. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. The ayes prevail. House Bill 954 moves to the next available calendar in local government.
Thank you.
We'll take up item number 2 on the calendar, House Bill 1058 by Chairman Vaughn. Do I hear a motion and a second on House Bill 1058? Chairman Vaughn, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm bringing you this bill today on behalf of Judge Sugarman, who is the newest juvenile court judge in the city of Memphis. He is requesting this change to law to allow, currently, Davidson County is the only county in the state that can appoint the officers to, whether they be truant officers or probation officers, and set the guidelines of their employment service. What this would allow would move Shelby County into that, because frankly, in Shelby County, they need the ability to arm these truancy officers and probation officers, and that's what this would do. And so I'm bringing this today on behalf of the new juvenile court judge who wants his officers to be armed when going into some pretty rough areas.
Thank you, Mr. Sponsor. Is there any questions, comments, discussion on the bill? Chairman Holsclaw, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. And otherwise in Memphis and Nashville, who actually appoints these people or persons?
Chairman Vaughn.
The judge, that is, well, it's a different way. I guess the probation system and the county, they're employed through the county. What this is doing is they're breaking them out so they give them different terms of service for whenever they're appointing these people. But outside of this, I'm not sure how you go about becoming a truancy officer or a probation officer for the state.
Okay.
Chairman, thank you.
Okay.
Is there objection to the question?
Just for your knowledge, it's trial judges.
Sir?
Trial judges.
Is there objection to the question? Is there any other discussion or comments? Is there objection to the question? Hearing no objection, we're voting on House Bill 1058. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. The ayes prevail. House Bill 1058 moves to the next available calendar in local government.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee.
The
I'll
next
do some
bill,
studying before I come back in front of full committee.
the next bill on our calendar is House Bill 901 by Chairman Hurt. We have a motion and a second. Chairman Hurt, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would ask to take this bill off notice, please, sir.
Without objection, hearing no objection, House Bill 901 is off notice.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and committee.
The next bill is House Bill 526 by Chairman Haston. Our office has received an email, and the sponsors asked that this bill be taken off notice. Is there objection? Hearing no objection, House Bill 526 is off notice. Our next bill is House Bill 847 by Chairman Haston. And I've had a request from the chairman that it be taken off notice. Is there objection? Hearing no objection, House Bill 847 is off notice. Next item on the calendar is item 6, House Bill 126 by Representative Leatherwood. We have a motion and a second, and the chair also has a 2/3 vote of the Shelby and Fayette counties, county commissions resolutions in favor of this bill. So Representative Leatherwood, you're recognized on House Bill 126.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee.
And I do believe you have an amendment.
Yes, sir. Amendment 4212.
That is correct. Do I have a motion on the amendment? Motion and a second on the amendment. You're recognized on Amendment 4212.
Thank you. And what this bill does, it just clarifies the boundary line between Shelby County and Fayette County. So it's a long list of meets and bounds.
Okay, any questions, any comments? Is there objection to the question? Hearing no objection, we're voting on Amendment 4212. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. The amendment carries. We're back on the bill, and the bill is made by the amendment. Is there any other discussion on House Bill 126? Are the members ready for the question? Is there objection to the question? We are voting on House Bill 126. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. The ayes prevail. House Bill 126 and the amendment moves to the next available calendar of local government.
And
At this time, Mr. Chairman,
If
Sponsor, I'd like to recognize members of the Shelby County Commission that are here. We're looking for them when we open, but if they please stand, welcome. Thank you for your service to the people. A number of us are recovering county commissioners. The next bill is item number 8 on the calendar, House Bill 1134 by Representative McCallum. You are recognized on House Bill 1134. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. We're going to go ahead and take Representative McCallum out of order.
Thank you, Mr.
We have
Chair.
a motion and a second. I do believe you have an amendment.
Yes, sir, I do. It is Amendment Drafting Code 4857, sir, and it makes the bill.
Do we have a motion on Amendment 4857? We have a motion and a second. You're recognized on the amendment.
Thank you, Chair and Committee. This bill comes to us from the Tennessee County Officials Association. Under current law, various county officials, such as our county sheriffs, coroners, constables, trustees, clerks, etc., they're required to post bond upon election in varying amounts based upon the office that they hold. These bonds must be approved by the county's legislative body. Newly elected county officials take office on September 1st. In most circumstances, the county commission doesn't meet until the third week of September. This means there's a gap in coverage from the time that the official takes office and the time that the bond is approved. While technically we could put these elected officials in violation of the law for 3 weeks if they take any official action during that time. The bill gives the county officials 30 days to file the bond and standardizes the way in which they must file these bonds. The bill further requires counties to maintain a minimum $150,000 blanket surety bond, for all county employees not covered by the individual bonds referenced elsewhere in the statute. In lieu of the blanket surety bond, counties may choose to insure this risk, and they can do so through self-insurance should they choose so, as long as the minimum limits are $400,000 per occurrence. Finally, the bill clarifies that notary publics who perform an official act in the notary public prior to filing the $10,000 bond required under current law commit a Class C misdemeanor. The County Mayors Association, the Tennessee County Officials Association, County Commissioners, and the Tennessee Sheriff's Association are all in support of this bill.
Thank you, Mr. Sponsor. Discussion on the amendment. Any discussion, any questions? Seeing none, are the members ready for the question? We are voting on Amendment 4857. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. The ayes prevail, and the amendment moves forward. We're back on the bill. The amendment does make the bill.
Yes, sir.
So is there objection to the question? Hearing no objection, we're voting on House Bill 1134. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. The ayes prevail. House Bill 1134 and the amendment moves to the next available calendar of local government.
Thank you, Chairman and members of the committee.
We will go back now to House Bill 419. Vice Chairman Wright, is there a motion on House Bill 419? We have a motion and a second. Vice Chairman Wright, you're recognized on House Bill 419.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There's Amendment 4 4816.
Amendment 4816, is there a motion on the amendment? We have a motion and a second on the amendment. Please explain your amendment, Vice Chairman Wright.
The amendment makes the bill, so I have to use. This represents sales tax collected in the state of Tennessee, and out of that smaller portion, the overhead of collecting sales tax in the state of Tennessee, the local governments are charged 1.125%. That slice of sales tax more than 3 times covers the expense of collecting sales tax. What this amendment does, what this bill does, is revert some of that fee to the counties, bringing more parity in how the overhead is covered. In other words, more will be covered out of the state's portion of sales tax and less will be covered out of the local government's portion. The importance of this, as reflected in the physical impact statement, is that by the end of the 3rd year, $30 million more will be going to local and state governments as is going to local and state governments today. In other words, the state's part will reduce and the local government's receipts will go up. With that probably thoroughly confusing explanation, I'll stand for questions.
Is there questions to the sponsor on the amendment? Seeing no hands, then is there objection to the question? Hearing no objection, we're voting on Amendment 4816. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. The ayes prevail, and the amendment is approved. We're back on the bill. The amendment makes the bill. Is there objection to the question? Hearing no objection, we're voting on House Bill 419. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. The ayes prevail. House Bill 419, the amendment, moves to the next available calendar of local government.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee.
Next bill is calendar item 9, and it is Representative Love, House Bill 361. We have a motion and a second. Representative Love, you're recognized on the bill, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 361 is intended to increase the affordable housing stock in our state. Many times nonprofit organizations rent property below market value, but they are unable to still then be exempted from paying property taxes. And with the increased rent in many of our cities and counties, my concern was that some of those nonprofit organizations may then start to reduce some of their affordable housing stock. What this piece of legislation does is permits counties and cities, if they want to create a grant program that will give nonprofit organizations who have rented property below market value and paid their property taxes an amount that is equal to or less than what their property tax amount was. It's not a reimbursement of property taxes. It just simply sets that guideline to say there are several criteria. 1, the program has to be approved by the Comptroller's office. 2, that nonprofit has to recertify every year that they are renting below market value. And 3, that local entity has to decide to create a program. So, for example, a county or city government could say, we're going to give grants equal to 10% of that nonprofit organization's property taxes after they have paid, and again, prove that they have also rented below market value. Or they could say 50% or 100%, but it's up to that local government to establish that. They cannot offer a grant above what that property tax amount was, but can offer anything at or below that amount.
Heard the explanation. Is there questions? comments? Chairman Holsclaw, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Chairman. So this is permissive?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Chairman Crawford, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just looking at the bill here, I just noticed that it's opened up several titles, 5, 6, 7, 13, 67, Chapter 5. If for some reason this was to be amended on the floor, would you be willing to bring this back to committee?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Representative Blake.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Is there objection to the question? Hearing no objection, we're voting on House Bill 361. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. The ayes prevail. House Bill 361 moves to the next available calendar in local government.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee members.
At this time, we have a request from the Senate to take up and consider SJR 11 by Senator Roberts. The chair will entertain a motion to suspend the rules. So moved. We have a motion and a second. We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Ayes prevail. The rules are suspended. Is there a motion to consider SJR 11? So moved. We have a motion. We have a motion and a second. Chairman Reagan was going to be in he's going to shepherd this the rest of the way through. There was a technical error, and I suffered the same error about 2 weeks ago in the language when they drafted. If the language in the resolve portion says that it designates or if it urges citizens to take certain action, it becomes a bill that must go through a committee and can't go on consent calendar. That's why we're here. So the motion's been made, and we're taking up SJR 11. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we're ready to vote on SJR 11. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. The ayes prevail, and this will move to the next available calendar in local government. This completes the final calendar of the first session of this subcommittee. Are there any announcements? We have Chairman Crawford, you're recognized for the adjournment motion.
Before we do that, I don't know if this should be done under announcements, but I'd like to ask the chair and the committee for their indulgence for a 3-minute recess and come back and finish up after that 3 minutes, sir.
We have a motion to recess. Is there a second? We have a second. Is there objection to recess 3 minutes? Hearing no objection, we are in recess. I don't know what this is about. Yes, sir.
Do you want me to go ahead?
We are back into session, and Chairman Holsclaw, you're recognized, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I would like for us to reconsider our actions on SJR 11.
We have a motion to reconsider actions. Is there a second? We have a motion and a second. Is there objection to the question? Hearing no objection, we're voting on the motion to reconsider our actions on SJR 11. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Ayes prevail, and now we're back to bringing forward SJR 11 before the subcommittee. Is there a motion on SJR 11?
So moved.
We have well, actually, the sponsor, we have a motion. Second. We have a motion and a second, and Chairman Crawford, you are now on the SJR, and you're recognized.
Can I present from my seat, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. SJR 11 is very simple. We just need to make sure everybody's aware that March is the Certified Financial Officers Month, and so I would ask for your consideration in passing SJR 11.
Is there objection to the question? Hearing no objection, we're voting on SJR 11. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. The ayes prevail, and SJR 11 moves to the next available calendar of local government. Chairman Crawford, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that cities and county subcommittees adjourn to meet at the call of the chair.
Is there a second? Second. We have a motion and a second to adjourn at the call of the chair. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. We are adjourned at the call of the chair.